Sarawak is known for its natural resources and the vast beauty of its land. And definitely, the Sarawak government has invested more than 300 million ringgit in tourism, particularly in the land of Borneo. Now, Damai, a thriving hub of natural beauty and cultural heritage, is known for its inclusivity and tourism economy. Now, this time, for its Damai master plan, centers not only on its ecotourism, but its sustainability as well, Hadi.
And for today's Dialog TVS segment, we'll be joined by SEDC's General Manager, Datu Haji Abdul Hadi, where we'll be talking about the Damai Peninsula Master Plan, an ambitious initiative by SEDC aimed at transforming Damai into a premier tourist destination, while also maintaining sustainability and development. Thank you, Datu Hadi, for joining us today. Can you share with us a brief overview of the Damai Peninsula Master Plan and some of its key attractions?
Thank you, Hadi. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, TVS, for inviting us to be in your studio today to share our very big project. We call it the Damai Peninsula Master Plan, which was actually given to us by our beloved Premier, who has this idea always ahead of others, when we talk about transformation. Mm-hmm. And because we in SEDC is also undergoing transformation of some sort. So Damai Peninsula was once the first place that housed a resort hotel that was then under Sheraton, by the brand of Sheraton, later on Holiday Inn, and now it's under our name, Damai Lagoon, Damai Beach Hotel, and of course the iconic Sarawak Cultural Village, right? So other than that, of course, it has other supporting activities like the golf course, what we call the Arnold Palmer Design Golf Course, in 18 holes golf course. And of course the potential of other activities such as cable car, which has been coined for many years. Now we are looking at the holistic approach to develop that place as a tourism hub. Mm-hmm. And there are so many under the master plan that will be, I would say, a very transformative in its role. Like, for instance, there will be a marina, possibly there will be a cruise ship terminal, there'll be perhaps a cable car, there'll be an expanded golf course, there'll be a few more iconic hotels. But most importantly, I think we're trying to get tourists to be attracted to that place, not so much of all these grandeur and all these big names and whatnot. It's all about being akin or being, what do you call it, seamless with the idea of protecting the environment. Yeah. The area is about 90% national park. The Santubong mountain is one of them. But I think there are not many people who know that Santubong has 7 peaks, they call it. 7, mountains that has its own peaks. So that is one of the major attractions. Apart from the sea, obviously, is by the sea. And in fact, there was one professor from one university who actually visited our place, and he was comparing with another place in one iconic place in Malaysia, and he was saying that your setting is better than what was maybe granted as the best in Peninsular Malaysia. I don't want to name. And the only thing that we need to do is to create more activities, more more activities that are coordinated, that is very supportive each other. Because there are people who wanted to invest in the first place, that saying that I can't do just the cable car, but I need that complete ecosystem of tourist related activities. And of course, one of them will be in the form of marina, maybe an expanded golf course. But other activities such as the perhaps eco run, meaning to say activities that actually eco-friendly, the 7 Peaks Challenge, for instance, and things like that. So we're looking at all this holistic development, and most importantly, the master plan takes into account of the environment. Of course, even to the extent that we will not allow ICE vehicle, the internal combustion vehicle to go through, except for perhaps the kampung people. Again, I also stress on the need to make good the kampung people, to make sure that they are able to reap the benefit of the growth or development in Damai. And this is being planned. As I said, the idea of a complete ecosystem includes the infrastructure, right? And we are now about to award a road, a dual carriageway, all the way to Damai from 20 kilometers away. And Damai is only about 35 kilometers away from Kuching city. So that road, which is under our charge, will include a dual carriageway, a dedicated ART, the Autonomous Rapid Transit. And as you know, ART is also powered by hydrogen, and also a dedicated cycling track to all these cyclists, who've been, I would say, cycling right now or this very moment until that dedicated cycling tracks is done, at their own risk. This is what the Premier has actually put in place for us to implement. And I think this is something great for Damai. One day, as you know, ART will be connecting our airport all the way to Damai. So any tourists who will be coming to stay in Damai, to play golf, to enjoy Damai, can come virtually direct from the airport and check in, through the ART. That will bring them maybe taking about 45 minutes, maybe, because the ART won't be that fast. But they can also take alternative transports. Like, as you know, we are providing the hydrogen bus ride to Damai every weekend for free for the last 4 years. So we hope that this will be more intensified as we have more hydrogen buses to support our ART system in the near future.
Yes, and we know that with all these ecotourism in place, definitely a direct transit from the airport directly to Diamond Peninsula, a master plan that you have explained earlier also as well, and also in a segment that we had earlier, this is definitely going to revamp again towards having zero carbon emission by 2050 as one of the vision that Sarawak has as well, Datu. And also perhaps with Damai having 90% natural resources, and definitely it's going to be the works of sustainability for tourists to come. I mean, you've mentioned the vision and the goal of the Damai master plan, and perhaps for now, maybe you could also share with the audience what are the preliminary works that we had in place, what have begun, like we know the survey has been done, and what are the next steps moving forward, Datu?
As you know, the master plan has in principle been approved. Well, we'll try to add a few more activities, like the cruise ship and perhaps the new land reclamation and all that. That needs further studies, right? That needs hydraulic studies, for instance. And of course, we're looking into the development of the fairway villas, the luxury villas around the golf course, embedded in the whole master plan to attract people from overseas to buy properties in Damai. And obviously, this needs topography study. And of course, again, for instance, for the cruise ship, you need the marine traffic, risk study, assessment, and all that. So all this needs to be done, but it's being done now. Hydraulic and topography are being done, but once that is passed, then I think the road is clear for us to implement the project. But there are aspects of the Damai master plan that has been approved earlier that can take shape already without having to wait for that additional study. So I'm glad to announce here, I'm happy to announce here that the program or the master plan is going to be executed through our own subsidiary called Damai Holding, of course supported by other divisions in SEDC as a whole, to make sure that the implementation of this master plan is done properly and in accordance to the world standard, because we are trying to attract the world tourists. Imagine if you have one cruise ship arriving with, for instance, we're talking the moderate size cruise ship, about 2,000 seats and below. You need a huge, well-coordinated infrastructure development to make sure that they have what it takes, for them to spend a night or two in the area. Obviously, cruise ship people who are travels in cruise ship, they don't come out of their cruise ship, but they will come out when there are activities. And that's the reason why they stop. In fact, we miss out on so many cruise ships and yachts plying the areas, but missing out on Kuching. We know that Miri has one, but it's not obviously big enough. So we're going to have one that is actually one of the biggest in the region, if not the biggest. Hopefully, this will be our main attraction, apart from the, as I said, the ecosystem of the whole area. And mind you, we must not forego the idea of preserving the environment.
Now, Datu, earlier you mentioned about some of the key attractions, such as the Marina Bay, the Gulf expansion. Maybe you could share with the audience, like, what are the key components of the master plan to boost the tourism in Sarawak as well as the economy?
Yes. Obviously, the marina is a master plan, part of the master plan, one of the key items under the master plan. And this marina under the master plan has been decided at one spot, obviously after the study. And the marina will be having about 70 or 80 acres of land over the reclaimed land. It's not a natural marina, you know what I mean? It's not like Singapore where they have the marina. But ours is on a reclaimed land. And that itself will provide so many facilities, F&B, accommodations, and that kind of stuff for the tourists, right? But of course, in addition to that, once we have the cruise ship terminal as well, obviously there'll be a bigger infrastructure that needs to be provided. Obviously, a cruise ship might even need a dredging of the area to make it deep enough for the cruise ship vessel, even the size of 2,000 and below. It needs a certain amount of depth, right? And of course, we probably looking into the reclaimed land, about 250 acres in total, once that is actually approved under the study. And this will also bring about so many other activities like we call it the Damai resort city concept, a lot of, but remember, we don't want people to destroy the area. We want people to have that area as if they own the area. It's a privilege to be there. So we want to keep it as low density but high quality. We don't want to have a high density development, but then again, we don't deny the rights of our people to enjoy the place. So our hotels will accommodate for this kind of needs as well as the high-end needs, right? There'll be perhaps names like Marriott, Four Seasons, and that kind of a hotels brand coming in to partner with us, to have hotels owned together with us. And of course, we don't deny the right of any these big names to have hotels on their own, but the lands are going to be state-owned or belonging to SEDC directly or indirectly. So, but what we want is that place to be a hub, a one-stop tourism hub. That's the idea. And I think once you have that, the spillover effect is huge, isn't it? Places in Kuching, which is just probably half an hour right away from that area, will be one of the destinations for these tourists once they arrive, during the cruise ship, using the yacht. And of course, we must have everything provided that is first class in nature. Right? That's the whole idea.
Definitely. I mean, you talked about first class in nature. Definitely this brings complementing each other. When you have tourism, you have cities, and then you also have accessibilities such as the expansion of your golf for golfers, and then you have eco-named hotels and chalets, and with big brands coming in, as well as the wetland park that we have. So all of these will come together, and definitely it will bring about the ecotourism concept and a one-stop center, which you have also pointed out earlier, for residents or even tourists to come. Now, Datu, touching on that as well, I mean, we've talked about ecotourism and Damai having its huge master plan. I mean, how can you also explain further into sustainability being incorporated and integrated into its development strategy moving forward, aside from what you have mentioned?
Thank you, Shirley. Obviously, the master plan has acknowledged the fact that 90%, maybe about 80+% is actually a national park. A national park, obviously, we have to protect it at all costs, right? But what can be allowed we have to work together with SFC, of course.
Correct.
Activities that are non-destructive, right? Non-degrading in nature. For instance, the eco run, the forest challenge that brings about. You know, if you have national parks that nobody can visit through these kind of activities, it's actually meaningless, isn't it? We have orangutan, for instance, but people can't even see orangutan. That's the meaningless. But we must allow things that are under the term sustainable be allowed, and this will be one of the major attractions. In fact, the other plan of ours will be the Damai Master Plan. The Damai Peninsula Master Plan includes what we call the neck. The neck is where near Buntal, near Buntal. That's where the big chunk of the development takes shape. Actually, that's where also the gateway before the EV, electric vehicles, the hydrogen-powered vehicles will pass through from that point onwards. So this area as well, we don't want it to be anything that is actually what I call destructive to nature as well. We will try to keep it as environmentally friendly as possible. But this will be an area where we'll be attracting a lot more investors to come in to develop shopping complexes and things like that. Beyond, of course, in Damai, where we have to create more activities like the cable car, if it's something where we can actually do together with our partners. And as I said earlier, investors are welcome. And we are talking to potential investors to come in. And the good thing is that MOTEC and our Ministry of Tourism have both acknowledged the Damai is one catalyst for the development of that area as a tourism hub. So we are looking at some fund coming from federal MOTEC, especially, as well as from our Ministry of Tourism. But most importantly, I think we have private players or players who are very big, who are interested also to come in. And I think this will be happening soon. We are talking to them in great details already about what they can do, what they cannot do, and all that. Hopefully, among the proposals that we receive, one will be good for Sarawak. We don't want people to write on us. So we must have control over things. And of course, we are engaging, as I said earlier, the Santubong Kampung will be linked by the walkway along the coastline, about 2 kilometers from the edge of our development. And tourists can actually walk to the kampung. But we must prepare the facilities of the kampung to upgrade the kampung people standard, for instance, the homestay, for instance, the cultural events, the food. And we are talking to the both representative of the area, Datu Sri Nancy, Dr. Abdul Rahman Junaidi. Both of them have been informed of this development, and they're looking forward to this. We'll be engaging constantly with them on what's next and all that.
Now, Dato', we know that Damai represents a great landscape, and how we believe that Damai has an exciting opportunity for those especially looking to be a part of Sarawak's growing tourism industry. Now, can you share with the audience what investment opportunities does the plan have for potential investors?
Firstly, of course, the hotel sector. Obviously, that's one of the key areas that will be developing. But we don't want too many hotels, obviously, right? But we will have enough hotels to accommodate the arrival of big tourists via cruise ship or the yacht operators and all that. But also to make sure that there are given a chance to protect their investment, of course. When you come up with people investing 1 billion or half a billion or whatever in whatever activities that we have there, they obviously need something that is justified for them to come in to invest. And I think the areas that they can come in is obviously the marina, the reclamation land, the new hotels, the development of the golf course, the cable car, and there's so many. And in fact, you know, there are other activities like the Borneo Falak Center by the Jabatan Agama Islam. That is also sited in Damai. And we're going to have a complete infrastructure there to attract the investors. Investors now will be attracted because the area is going to be connected by a dual carriageway all the way from Kuching, right? So, and the ART connecting it direct from wherever, from the airport and all that. I think they see this as, I would say, a big push for them to put their money. And knowing that our government is a very stable government and a very visionary government, providing so many incentives for investors. For instance, people can actually apply for 5 years working permit. You know, these are things that actually, and the special second home, concept that Sarawak is actually providing. This definitely will be the right ingredient for the investors to come in. But we must be fast to act on this because there are players in the region who are probably attracting these same investors to invest in their respective countries. So we hope that Sarawak will be able to tap the good investors, strong investors who have a very strong followings throughout the world, right? As I said earlier, the brands of these investors who have their own brands perhaps can attract, and we're talking about a group like Marriott's, for instance. Marriott has 220 million followers throughout the world, members. And we have one already in Mulu, as you know, Mulu Marriott. So it's not strange that we'll be attracting Marriott to come into Damai as well, and perhaps in the Kuching hotels as well. So Sarawak, as you know, Kuching especially, have so many attractions. The great, the Borneo Culture Museum, you name it, the beautiful waterfront, the iconic bridge, blah, blah. These are all ingredients for tourists to come, and most importantly, the food that we have is so diverse. So yeah, we were going to have one of the most varied food, from the Highlander food, from the local panso, what do you call that, umai, and all that. Those are things that actually already known to the world when they come in for IDEC, for instance, for all these conferences. And we are already actually looking at possibly hosting a world conference there. Slowly we'll build the infra for that, subject to, of course, the approval, the final approval at the state level once we put up the final piece, final drawing later on.
Yes, and I know for Damai itself has already hosted a few, international summits due to Rainforest World Music Festival, and also, of course, for Damai Master Plan itself, Hadi, it brings about a huge future development and definitely something exciting for us to explore soon.
Definitely. Now, I think we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back, so don't go anywhere.
All right, and welcome back to Dialog TVS, and we are now still in the topic of development, Hadi, but this time we are bringing in another guest in the house who is Noor Salleh, Chief Operating Officer of UDA Holdings Berhad. Welcome to Dialog TVS, and definitely to talk more about the collaboration that Neu Pendington and, of course, SEDC, who has also opened the door for UDA Holdings Berhad to explore more opportunities in Sarawak. Thank you to Noor Azmi and also to Datu as well for being here with us still on this episode of Dialog TVS. Now, Noor Azmi, being in the house here today, we know that Neu Pendington is a new revamped area of Pending itself, and new which means revival, as we know, and Pendington giving a new name of brand to Pending as an industrial estate to a new development and a breath of new air for Sarawak. Now, Noor Azmi, in collaboration with SEDC, we know that with this being said, I mean, could you also share with us how UDA has started the journey of it being in Sarawak, and maybe you could tell us more on the project itself?
Okay, thank you for inviting me today. Okay, UDA started as an urban development authority back in 1971. The purpose it was to set up. The main purpose is to bring the Bumiputera ownership into the urban area for the residential, also for commercial. And we began to expand into all the small cities or areas, mostly in Semenanjung. And we began our journey into Sarawak back in 2016, actually. So we have a collaboration with SEDC. We talk about opportunities that we may explore together. And so happened that Pending which was an industrial area, which needs to be revamped or rejuvenated. So we have a session. It took about quite a few years. It was halted by the pandemic. And later on, we came up with this idea of transforming the 12.6 acres of the area into a mixed development area. So that's how all it started. And we plan to have the service apartments, components of shop offices, as well as hotels, which is to be operated by SEDC itself. So with that coming together, and even we have started on the initial part of the development, and together with SEDC, hopefully this become our first successful JV in Sarawak.
Inshallah.
Now, Encik Noor, Azmi, we know that the first phase has begun and is set to be completed in the fourth quarter of 2027.
Yes.
Now, can you share with us when will the project be ready, the overall project?
Okay, we have started on the foundation works. Now we have reached about 70%. And the first phase is about the apartment, service apartment, which will be completed by 2027. And the whole development will be completed in 2029, hopefully, inshallah.
Just in addition to that, we are actually working out a plan so that at least one of the apartments will be ready for the ASEAN game in 2027. If we can capitalize on that timing, I think it's good for the state as well as for our development. Apart from that, of course, the World Water Symposium that will take place in 2028. Definitely, I think if we get an early approval for part of the projects that have been ready, hopefully we can also cater for the needs of this symposium. Inshallah, we work together on that.
Yes, and as well as the LRT station, which should be ready by 2027, if I'm mistaken.
Yes.
So that'll be just nice for everything there.
So that will be the first, I think, TOD, transit-oriented development, that will cater for the needs of the ART. And obviously, the ART station that is actually sited, along this project development will boost the marketability of that. Of that place.
In boosting the marketability of Neu Pendington itself, with being in a transit centre and also a new business hub, maybe from both UDA Holdings and also SEDC, seeming that this collaboration is being in place. I mean, what do you see in marketing it to the local communities and international people and business people who will come? I mean, in centering, I mean, what is it going to be centered as, besides being a hub of excellence, of business and ecotourism per se, with the ART being in that center? I mean, what else is both in this collaboration going to market the area into?
Okay, it's a big development area. The component seems to be fitting for the urban area. So we're going to have various shop offices or commercial areas which are suitable for even a hypermarket or some gaming studios. They will have hotel to be run by SEDC, which is going to be about a 3-star hotel but with a 4-star vibes. That's something new, which is about 170 rooms of hotel over there. And the station itself will be connected directly into development. So just walking distance, and it takes about 38 minutes to Damai, and less than half an hour to the Kuching Airport. So it's a very convenient, very strategic location. I think suitable for businesses and also residents in Sarawak, Kuching itself.
Talking about the marketing aspect, obviously UDA will not come in if they have not done a survey on the prospective market size that will be attracted to that kind of development. And at UDA, after 50 over years of existence, I think they are boleh dikatakan masak lah in terms of the needs to cater for the right things for the market, right? So that's why I think we partner with them, and they have this very long history of development under them. And of course, we would love to have all the locals to be buyers of this beautiful project. but we will also have our own networking that we can actually, that UDA can definitely capitalize from to tap the market within the SEDC group. But most importantly, I think the areas what General Azmi mentioned tadi, from just a ex-industrial area. It was a Puspakom center one time, car care center and all that. So it's been idling, you know, I mean, not really serving that bigger needs. So with this mixed development, not only it caters for the needs of people who wants an exclusive kind of place to stay, an iconic place to stay, connected to all these transportation facilities, but also I think we're trying to cater for the needs of the entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yeah.
By providing all these commercial areas, which is again the location itself, which is quite strategic to all. So in terms of traveling time, which is not going to be not more than 40 minutes throughout the Kuching area. So I believe the area should be suitable for all sorts of businesses.
Yes, correct. And when you talk about entrepreneurship, definitely with Neu Pendington, you know, offering not only businesses but also, if I'm not mistaken, 3 phases of its hotel accommodation and also luxury offered for its condominiums as well and apartments. I mean, offering a vast audience and residents as well as people to come to Pendington. Now, we all know we're touching on entrepreneurship. Carnival UDA is also being one of its key prospect for UDA Holdings as well. So seeming that this time it's collaborating with SEDC. So coming from both parties, the collaboration of Carnival UDA that is going to be held again soon at the site, I think if we had from our conversation earlier, bringing together the importance of empowering local communities. How is this carnival going to center in increasing its local economy and benefiting communities alike as well?
Okay, talking about carnival, this is our 4th year of holding this carnival, and initially we have carnivals throughout the area where we have developments. For example, in Klang Valley, in Johor Bahru, in Penang, and mostly we are focusing on those areas. And this year we have started with Penang in the end of July. We have done our carnival in Bandar Sen On last month, and we have completed our carnival in Johor Bahru recently. And this time we're going to have our first carnival in Kuching in collaboration with SEDC. So this carnival will bring all the micro, small enterprises, entrepreneurs, to showcase or exhibit their products, which will benefit all the local exhibitors. And this time, in collaboration with SEDC, there'll be more. For the first time, we can see the local entrepreneurs displaying their product at the booth will be displayed over the carnival soon. So this carnival will take place on the 25th to 27th of October to be held at the Neu Pendington site itself. And those 3 days will bring all those communities together. We even have a booth by the Kuskop and Medak agencies to assist all these entrepreneurs to market the products and assisting on the financial or marketing and so on.
Yeah. As I said earlier, right, UDA is one of the members of the Gemaputra, where we are also a member. In fact, this coming year will be the chair to this Gemaputra Sarawak, I mean SEDC Sarawak. So I think the collaboration between 2 agencies under this Gemaputra grouping is a good thing, because we are also looking into perhaps other agencies coming in, Jacob, PKNS, and maybe others. Vice versa, we are also looking at the prospects of working with our other SEDC members. I think UDA, again, having brought this idea of carnival to the site is a good way to get our local entrepreneurs, especially, to know the potential of that place. And obviously, that's already been put as part of the operating plan once it's ready. So hopefully, I hope the audience will be watching this show and bring your family members over to this great event, which will only bring about a lot of benefits to everyone. And obviously, UDA and SEDC together, we can't go wrong, inshallah.
Inshallah. So this carnival is the main intention is to showcase UDA products, not just for the Kuching products, but also for other products of UDA throughout the country. So at the same time, we're bringing all the entrepreneurs to have a carnival like together as a group.
Right. Now we understand that. Yeah, sorry. Now we understand that there is immense potential in the collaboration between SEDC and UDA Holdings. Now, question to Datu. Are there any specific sectors or area of development that SEDC wants to explore further with UDA?
Well, we are already looking at potential sites where we can actually still work under the same scheme. Obviously, UDA has great ideas. And through us is their first entry into Sarawak, if not Sarawak and Sabah. So I think giving them that opportunity is something that will be based upon the success of this first collaboration. But we are still working. We're working towards a few more projects, hopefully. And we are already at a very advanced level of committing to something perhaps not similar, but in that kind of a development kind of a scheme. And the what do you call the formula of the joint venture collaboration has been approved for that Neu Pendington project. So I believe that same formula can be used. But let's see how far we can actually achieve success in this first venture. And there's a lot of opportunity, General Azmi, within Sarawak, especially through us. But then again, they're not confined to just SEDC. They'll be working with other agencies as well, inshallah. Right? They're working on that. That's why I think they have set up their office in Sarawak in view of that potential.
Yes.
Definitely. And also, we know that for this year, definitely you're talking about Neu Pendington being one of the, we can say, a new child for both the collaboration that both parties have this year. And also for Carnival UDA itself this year, for Carnival UDA 2024, although being held for more than 2 years, 3 years, I think. And this year, this time, it's held in collaboration for SEDC. So perhaps for the audiences, I mean, could you share also from both SEDC and UDA, what awaits for them besides, the opportunity of having the exhibition and to have a see-through of this entrepreneurship itself catered at Neu Pendington, to have a new air in Sarawak, and basically in addition to that, on the entrepreneurs sales booths and also its other property exhibition, what are the interesting activities that might be in store for those who come to Carnival UDA this year?
Okay, apart from our property booth and so on, we have activities will be carried out throughout the day. We have an exhibition by certain agencies, also some agencies under SEDC themselves. Even there will be corporate booth by SEDC and subsidiaries, so the public can get to know SEDC much better and closer. We have also a booth by these PTPTN, so for students looking forward for their loan for their higher studies. We also have this artist performance by local artist Bob Yusuf and Ella, and also Hyperact. We also have these events for the kids, coloring contests and so on, by appearance by Didi and friends. Also have traditional games, also for the kindergarten, and also karaoke competition.
Karaoke competition, Hadi, maybe we both could join that later.
On our part, right, this is something that has been done throughout Sarawak, through our entrepreneur division, right? We are rolling out, working with Mintrat, for instance, working with the other agencies, promoting the development of startup businesses and all that throughout Sarawak. We are also, I think, hopefully, can bring about some news from the consulate of Indonesia as well, or even Brunei, for them to at least attend this activity, because the recent opening of the Trade and Tourism Office in Brunei about a week ago. a week and a half ago.
Yes.
That too will be a platform for Bruneian especially, but the Indonesian side hopefully will be bringing in or rather attracted to this kind of activities as well, because you know the bigger market. General Azmi, I'm sure UDA is eyeing the potential of the other side of Borneo, i.e. the Kalimantan side. Definitely. Where the new capital of Nusantara is being developed right now, and not missing out on their potential purchasing power. I think we should cater for their needs as well. But as it is now, I think the locals, I'm sure right now, are all looking forward to that, the carnival, and with all the attractions of the artists.
So for the carnival itself and also Neu Pendington, I mean, and before we go to the next question, Hadi, maybe we would also like to ask, I mean, what are the expectations, besides Neu Pendington, and definitely this will be pioneering actually the first hub and hotels and commercial center, which is going to have the ART station over there. What are the expectations for Neu Pendington once it's being completed, and what are the efforts besides the tourism marketing and all the pooling, the talent pool, and also the pooling of investments personally from UDA and SEDC as well?
Just a quick one, Azmi. Firstly, this model of TOD, the transit-oriented development model as per Neu Pendington, as being the first, will be the template, I think, for the rest. There'll be other players in other areas of the TODs along the ART stretch of 50 over kilometers. So, but the fact that we are there first, this will be the telling point, yeah?
Yes.
I think we'll be tapping the first, I would say, first blood in a way, for people to try out this living style, yeah?
Yes.
Maybe over to you.
Okay, so being a TOD development, transit-oriented, so the residents will be relying less on their own vehicle, so they'll be using more public vehicles. So at the same time, we're reducing the carbon footprint and so on. That's environmentally that helps.
Yes.
And a TOD itself is good for businesses because there'll be more, footfall going to the area using public transport, and become a center or hub for businesses to be set up over there. And with the convenience of having a business hotel nearby, which is all within the walking distance within the development itself.
Correct. Yes. I think it's a win-win, because ridership is one thing. Of course, ART needs ridership to make it viable. And then likewise, the arrival of ART, the station being placed at the development area, will also be a selling point for the apartments. I want to stress on the fact that we are working out on why we're working closely with the entrepreneurs, encouraging them to go to the next level and all that through this kind of carnival, is because we want to bring their products into the international platform. For instance, in our hotel, there'll be a showcase of their products, and through that, they would probably reach the foreign tourists that come to our hotel, and this will be carrying out aggressively in our hotels network over the next in the near future. And I think by having this kind of development together with UDA, all this can be rolled in as when the hotels are ready, together with obviously our apartments. If let's say the apartments is ready by ASEAN Game time, hopefully all the ASEAN members, those who are allowed or rather has the privilege to stay in the newly completed apartments as their accommodation during that ASEAN Game, that will be also point of sale for this, because I'm sure you're not confining to a local sale only, right? So
definitely. We know that the expectation might be from local and of course international. Now, before we end the session of Dialog TVS, maybe perhaps a bit of words of expectations and also an invitation for those to come, definitely to come and see from themselves the synergy of development and transportation alongside with the exciting projects that both SEDC and UDA is going to have. Maybe from, we start from Engineer Azmi and to Datu.
Okay, so for this event, which we held on this 25th to 27th, so I would personally invite all those people, all the communities within Kuching or throughout Sarawak to come over and to discover our development, not just for this Neu Pendington, but also our properties throughout the country. You may want to invest in Johor Bahru, for example, Klang Valley or Penang, and also to look at these other products that we are going to display, and also at the same time enjoy your weekend with family. Look at other products to be displayed by other entrepreneurs locally, and even we bring some from the Semenanjung, and just to have a good times, just have excitement and community spirit together.
Right.
On our part, I think we have our booth, right? That booth will showcase activities that are related to SEDC, like the green hydrogen, like the ART, like the other developments within SEDC. And not only us, there'll be other, and of course, this provide opportunities for the public at large, especially those who wants to go for this entrepreneur scheme and all that, because we have so many things that we can actually provide them in collaboration with agencies like Mintrade, SFS and all that. State Financial Secretary Office. And of course, there are other agencies, COSCOP, the ministry, that looks after us directly or indirectly. And of course, it's other, agencies that falls under COSCOP. I think that'll be a great event, knows me. We look forward to arrivals in the thousands for this carnival, and I think there'll be a non-stop crowd coming in, and pray that the weather will be good for us, good for the public at large. And as what Noor Azmi mentioned, this is our first collaboration, and there'll be future collaborations. And definitely, once if it benefits the rakyat, that's where we both are. Therefore, the rakyat is our main target, right? Yes. That's why they're talking about the empowering of the Bumutra into the urban areas. That's through UDA. But we are throughout Sarawak, even in the rural areas, they need to be empowered as well. They need to be much of kind of elevated into to the next level. You know, the economic standard needs to go up, and that's in line with our PCDS, PCDS 2030, where we play a big role in contributing towards this success, the success of the PCDS.
Thank you so much for your insights. I guess that's all the time we have for today's edition on Dialog TVS. Thank you so much, Datu Haji Abdul Hadi. Yes, definitely.
I'd like to share with Noor Azmi. You know, Noor Azmi, this is the 4th year anniversary TVS. I'd like to congratulate TVS.
Thank you so much, and of course, definitely, we also conveying our many wishes for Carnival UDA. Thank you as well on the first collaboration, and thank you for wishing both Hadi and I on our anniversary, TVS anniversary this year, and definitely more to come.
Yes, definitely, and thank you so much for being here today, Datu Haji Abdul Hadi, SEDC's General Manager, as well as Encik Noor Azmi, the Group Chief Operating Officer of UDA Holdings Berhad. I guess we'll end right here. I'm Hadi Gui.
And I'm Shosh Metal. Till next time.